We are here outside the Church of the Dominion, Dormition, I should say, here on Har Zion in Jerusalem. This spot has great significance. It's on the back side of the wall of this massive structure. It was built here in Har Zion by the Catholic Church. And it's a pathway and a place with a very big secret. You see from here an old basketball court, hardly in use. Some people come out here and camp on holidays. You see in the distance, facing south of Jerusalem. And this place was once the earth was opened up. There was a sinkhole. And in the sinkhole was a cave. And one of the tzaddikim of our generation, Rav Asher Freund, Rav Usher, if you got the right accent, would come here and pray. And he was asked, and he said that this was one of the openings to the caves of the burial sepulchres of the house of King David. A place that is known of, somewhat lightly documented. But look at where it is. Look at where the sinkhole opened a cave. And within days after it opened, the government came in and sealed the cave with cement, put this huge block on it that you saw. And that was that. But for some of us, we understood a little more. We hoped a little more. We believed a little more. Something here. This opening to the burial chambers of the house of David is not simply a place of relics and artifacts, of gold and silver, crowns and swords, shields and bucklers and girdles and all the other things that people look for when they go into such places. This is a place of extreme holiness. The type of holiness of a person I would be terrified to go into such a place. I can pray outside just fine. I wouldn't need to go into such a place to see those relics and artifacts that are 2,500 years old, that belong to some of the holiest people who ever lived. I wouldn't consider myself fitting for that. And here it is, on the edge of this famous place in Jerusalem. Now, isn't it interesting that a church dedicated to a religion that terrorized Jews for many, many hundreds and hundreds of years all over the world is established here on top of the graves of our royal family? Isn't that interesting? Why would that be? Well, the rabbis give us a concept. And the concept is that lo nogea malchut lechavero afilu kelo nima, that the kingship of one man and another will not touch each other even a hair's breadth, which in modern parlance would mean that the old king will be removed before the new king is set in place. But we're not just talking about one king or another. We're not talking about the Jews even ruling the land, because apparently the Jews are the new rulers of the land. We're talking about a global shift in metaphysical perception, a global shift from the Jewish people in exile and the Jewish people in redemption. We're talking about changing of the guard in the rule of heaven. Of course, we all have one God. There's only one. There only could be one. There never will be two. But we have different religions that interpret reality differently, and that's par for the course for the human race. Why should we get along when we can just argue instead? Doesn't that make more sense? Well, to a certain level of consciousness it might. But what we're talking about, that our king's graves are beneath this church. There are tunnels under there. There's extensive digging and various events along the historical path that teach us about that. But it's really teaching us that the Jewish people, now that we're home, now that we're rebuilding, and if it takes, well, we've been here 75 years, officially. The Jews have been coming back for hundreds of years, but the foundation of the state of Israel is only 75 years old, which is like a breath of time in the history of our people. In that little breath of time, you see what has been built here with the blessing of the Creator. And I thought to make this little talk because we are on a precipice in history. The past is behind us. The future is unknown. It looks like a leap into a valley of uncertainty and danger. And yet, well, we've been here before. The Jewish people have gone through this dozens of times in their wandering. Well, what's the shift now? We're home. What is the shift? The next transition that this miraculous people have to make to fulfill their mission in the name of their Creator. Is it peace between Christians and Jews? Why not? The Rebbe of Lubavitch told his followers, tell Christians to be good Christians. And Muslims should be good Muslims. And Jews should be good Jews. Because when people are good, they're good. They get along. It's much easier. So peace is not really the issue. The real issue, of course, is the content of the discussion, of the arguments. What are the problems? What are the real problems? Not the smoke screens of problems that are created by powerful people. The real problems. I think the real problems are the same as they've always been. The same as the Torah has warned us. Take care of the poor. Take care of the old. Take care of the widows. Take care of the orphans. The Torah doesn't say you have to take care of the billionaires. However, the Torah does say if a wealthy person loses his wealth, the community should establish him at a fitting level for his former status. So the Torah is the ultimately fair document to all creatures, great and small, human and otherwise. And I invite you to come to Jerusalem, to come to these ancient places. Because when we come to an ancient place, it awakens something deep, very deep inside us. And we need that spark awakened. Because that connects the past to the present. And when those two are connected, there is a future. A great future. A hopeful future. A positive future. Something to look forward to, something to believe in while the world is crumbling. Nero was playing fiddle while Rome was crumbling. There's nobody playing fiddle, here. In other countries, I don't know. But let's connect to our past, to the greatness of our tradition. And then we will see the future will emerge bright and beautiful and joyous. God bless you all.